It's the Career Seeker Show live on WPPM LP Philadelphia. We are back to provide you with your only source for career and job search information. Kenneth L. Johnson, Alberta Bertolino, Will Martin in the building today. Tiffany Sutherland letting us know that she's chimed in.
Yeah, I saw that, Tiff.
You know what, AB? I wanted to let you know that we do have someone that will be coming to speak for the MLK.
Oh, you got confirmation? How funny.
I just got the text when I went over there to Will.
See, know how to make things happen.
We make it happen. We make it happen. So thank you so very much, and I will announce that at the end of the show.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. That's great news.
So where we headed, AB?
Well, I don't know. We were talking a little bit about what not to do, but let's talk about what you should be doing in your job search.
Yes,
right?
good approach. 2018.
Yeah. And so there's 14 search tips that we can talk about.
Okay.
And this comes to us from recruiter.com. And again, we can post it out to all of our social media to make sure you guys can, if you want to take a look at it yourself.
Definitely will do that.
The very first part, again, is about artificial intelligence, AI. And it says, don't overestimate technology. So, what does it say? Oh, see, I didn't read fully into the paragraph enough. It's talking about a chat bot called Maya. Now, I gotta say, I've never seen one on a. Well, no, I know what chatbots are, but typically that's like a customer service thing. I haven't seen them on a career site.
Maybe from an assessment standpoint.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's saying. That's so funny.
So don't overestimate tech, but I think, I was reading through this, and I'm sorry, I probably left you at a disadvantage.
Okay.
I read through this just a little, and basically, I think the premise of this was that you get all of this information that states that if you're not up on technology, you can't get a job, and it starts to scare people away. Technology it's here, it's not going anywhere. Get on board, but I do think that, and in the article from recruiter.com, it reads that there's still nothing that beats a great referral in your job search.
Exactly. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's the gist of the don't overestimate it, but if work your network.
Absolutely. Because I think the percentage is something like 65%, or you can correct me if you know something better, but job referrals, this about 65% of them, you will be hired.
Two-thirds of job seekers report that they found their job through a referral.
Yeah. So, so the second one is think outside the box to gain new skills. We talk about this all the time. Volunteering, any of your entrepreneurship that you're doing, any side hustle that you have, that definitely helps you gain experience that you might not be able to gain in your regular day-to-day 9 to 5.
And there are so many opportunities out here. You have to, it's just about making things happen for yourself.
Absolutely.
And I know it's easier said than done, but done every day.
Right, so. Absolutely. And speaking of that, every day, stay engaged. And it goes back to a little bit of what we talked about last half hour. Try to remember that, and not to get down on yourself, but keep up with, there's networking, there's consulting, there's other training, professional development, social media promotion, which the three of us are really good about that.
Yes.
So
we got to get Geek Gamer up too.
Yeah, I know.
He's in and out. Yeah, he's in and out on the social media stuff.
Got to start tagging him on everything.
Actually,
but even I recall last show, Tiffany even said in building your own personal brand, have your own website.
Yes.
And she had talked about all the different sites that she's got. TiffSouth.com, all these TiffanySutherland.com.
I'm not sure if it was you or Tiff, but you guys made a really valid point, and it was basically that a lot of people focus in on it's just as bad to not be online almost as to be inappropriately online. Like when people can't find you, recruiters start to get a little weirded out with that. Like if I'm Googling and I can't find a LinkedIn profile, I can't find anything. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. What's the problem?
Right. It just doesn't add up.
It really does. And I start to think something's wrong. I'm like,
there has to be. What are you hiding?
Why can't I find this person?
Number 4, breathe life into your resume. So Don't just use the same old resume every single time. Update it. Even now, it's 2018. Pull out your resume. Take a look at it again. Take a look at the job descriptions. Align it with the type of job you want to get. Have 2 or 3 types of resumes also, because you never know when you might meet somebody and they'll say, hey, flip me your resume.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes you want to know what works, what's working for you. So it's a trial and error.
Yeah.
Don't just assume that your document is the one. You know, sometimes try some different documents to see which ones get you callbacks and things of that nature.
Yeah.
It helps. It works.
Right. Well, and I especially want to stress that for internal candidates, if you're applying to a position within your current company, update your resume. Don't use the one from 10 years ago when you first came into the company. Just because you work for us doesn't mean that I know that your skill sets are ready or that you're ready for the position. And I'm going to talk to you because you're an internal candidate, but show me that you took the time and that you care to update your resume.
You know what? Let me take this next one, AB.
Sure.
Number 5, it says whip out your phone, right? So as a person who has his phone in his hand pretty much constantly, and everybody says like, what are you doing? But a lot of times I have my phone out because I'm reading articles on recruiting or reading articles on interviewing or, you know, looking at different websites like the Muse or whatever it is just to get the memo. There's a great website. It's really aimed at females of color. The Memo out in New York. She's doing a great job. But there's so many people out here. Tiff's information. Tiff produces some great content.
My gosh, she really does.
You know, so podcasts and things of that nature, all are coming through your phone. So I was looking at your Twitter feed the other day about just even careers in your industry. And I was like, man, AB is finding articles that I don't like. I'm like, where is she finding this career opportunities in with this? So
I have a secret alert.
Okay, that makes sense actually. But there's so much information out there, and it's all available on your phone.
It is.
So you know, for the people to say, well, I don't have a computer, and everybody just walking around here with an iPhone or you know any type of smartphone, it's there for you. So just use it. For more than playing a game, or use it for more than texting. You know, start reading up on different things and doing assessments and things of that nature. All right, that's my soapbox. I'm off the box, Gee. I'm off of it.
The 6th one is higher education degrees are not totally necessary. So I have been seeing that more and more. A lot of companies are changing their job descriptions to have degree not required or an advanced degree not required. It'll say preferred and or 10 plus years of experience in this area. Right. So that's a little, I love it because it's, well, you have a different.
No, I'm a big proponent of that. I think technology is even the playing field in that area.
Yeah.
I was at an event in New York City at Google at their offices, and they had explained like, how can we ask some of our developers to come with these degrees when the person that runs the Android department doesn't have one.
Great point.
And it was they hired somebody. They were, I don't want to say they were young because I don't know that, but it was somebody that was like an Android whiz.
Yeah.
And look, didn't have a degree at all.
Right.
But look, running the department, running the platform for Google.
Right.
So
imagine.
So
maybe they had something to do with Google Jobs, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah, no, but that's so right though, and I am happy to see that companies are going in that direction because there's people out there with such great experience, and you might have kind of fallen into the job initially and then grew, and then and look how much you can offer the next position.
Indeed, that's not to say that education is not important.
No,
it's just to say that
Grace, if you're listening, you better finish.
There are some opportunities out here that allow you to just move forward without necessarily spending another $80,000.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Another one, building a team. Interesting. Oh, this is what we talk about, to have your team, your advocates, your allies, having people that are in your corner to help you have somebody look at your resume, have somebody help you do a mock interview with you, help you through that before you actually get into the interview. And,
we spent a large portion of the first segment speaking about a resource here in Philly that provides all of that.
Right. And in South Jersey.
Right, and in South Jersey. Yeah. So granted, you want to have your team, but if you're saying, all right, I don't know a lot of people, I don't have that type of network that can support maybe my aspirations, then go to CareerLink, and there are people there that'll help you. They'll critique your resume. They'll help you with your interview skills.
free.
They'll do all of that stuff for free. Exactly.
Yeah.
So make them your team.
That
You'll
is-
have a CareerLink team. Or the Urban League of Philadelphia is a great resource
Mm-hmm.
as well. Deborah Abrams over there does some great things. Paul Donaville here in Philly out at the Honickman Learning Center does some great things. Jevs, man, Mike Robinson, New Opportunities Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent resources for people that are in search of assistance.
Right. There are people out there who want to help you.
Yes.
So you just seek them out. That's a great point, though.
I want you to talk about this one right here, number 8.
Get past the ATS.
So for all of our listeners, or I guess if you're a listener, you will know this. ATS stands for Applicant Tracking System.
Mm-hmm.
Alberta is a super recruiter and works in these systems daily. So I think she's a great person to speak about this topic.
So this is saying that 70% of resumes are rejected by the applicant tracking system. Now, it's not only applicant tracking system, but it's the recruiter in that system who takes 6 seconds to look at your resume before moving on to the next one. I got to be honest, that is true. When you're working on so many open positions and you're trying to find the right candidate and get through, and you only have a certain amount of time per day, and then you're on the phone and you're emailing. Unfortunately, that's how long it takes. So that's why make sure you have, this is giving you, check out tools like JobScan. Have you ever heard of that?
Have not.
Me either. We're going to have to take a look at that. So it compares your resume against the job advertisement and suggests ways to improve your resume.
That's pretty nice.
I like that.
Yeah, that's much better than I was using Wordle and things of that nature just to kind of pull out the keywords. But I like that.
Yeah, and since this is a recent article, I bet you there's some really good stuff. So
Yeah,
JobScan, it's called.
If anybody's using JobScan, let us know. Hit us up.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
All right, AB, offer social proof. We're going to move this along. We're going to speed up a little. Offer social proof. So social proof basically is you need to add value. So you can't just, the preference would be that you just don't have a LinkedIn profile, but you participate in some of the conversations and the discussions. I want to pat myself on the back. There was a great discussion that was taking place on LinkedIn, and people were saying the discussion centered around something that you and Tiffany have spoken about, people not accepting invites from people without a personal note. But you guys said without a picture.
Yeah.
So this was about without a personal note, right? Mm-hmm. So they said the challenge was when you do it on a mobile device, you're not able to send a personal note. So I chimed in.
That's absolutely correct.
That is absolutely false.
No, I've tried it.
I will show you how.
All right. See, I'm learning something. See how we always learn from each other?
There we go. So I chimed in on the discussion. And I let them know that was false. But even on the mobile device, when you look at somebody's profile, there's 3 little dots to the right. If you're looking at your phone, it'll be to the right.
Yeah.
If you click on those dots, there'll be a prompt that says personalized invite.
Oh, so you got to go the little
there.
extra step.
You can
Gotcha.
go another
Instead
step.
of just clicking connect.
Yeah. So
I see.
It was just a massive discussion taking place on the LinkedIn platform.
And so is that both for iPhone and the Android?
I think it's just in the app. I think it's in the LinkedIn app.
So it doesn't matter which.
Does not matter. I believe it does not matter.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to find the individual's name that sparked this conversation. She was great. She reached out. She's out of Pennsylvania, but I mean, it's at like thousands right now. I believe of people that chimed in on this discussion. Because some people get really offended by the fact that people won't accept their invites.
Yeah.
But I just think be a little more thorough in your.
Let me, as a side note.
Yes.
It's not for LinkedIn's not for dating.
Yeah.
So please remember that it's not Facebook. It's not.
The person that started this conversation was Ernisha Pinder. I'll just speak and say that she also went to the University of Maryland, but at University College. But that's just beside the point there. But anyway, she works for Aetna. She's based out of York, PA. Hit her up on LinkedIn. She's active, man. She's part of the discussion. So exactly what we were speaking about. Be part of that discussion on LinkedIn. Don't just have a profile, but interact.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, you want to skip over some of them?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes,
yeah, I like this one, number 13.
13?
Defensive Googling is essential.
Please elaborate. I don't know what this is all about.
recruiters will look you up on Google. I'm going to do, it's not all the time, but if there's something a little fishy about what we talked about or after we phone screen, or maybe something doesn't seem right on your resume, I'm going to Google you, and things are going to come up. Google yourself. Try it. Just try it, and you'll see what comes up. I mean, I even did with my maiden name, and things are coming up. That, nothing bad.
Hey, Will, once we leave here, we're going to Google Alberta's names. We'll speak about this next week on the show.
I might not be here next week. But then what you can do, it's the article talks about how you can manage the results. So there are some ways to change what pops up.
Okay.
So, which is great.
All right, we've shared this. I've been informed that, well, we're sharing this article on the East Coast Executives Facebook fan page. So if you want to check it out, please do. What's the title of that article again, AB?
It's the 14
job
search tips to use in 2018.
Yes, 2018. Happy New Year.
Recruiter.com.
All right, AB, let's keep it moving. We got some plans today, so let's where we headed here.
I know we did, right?
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it as well. How to answer the five most important interview
questions. This comes to us from Travis Bradbury.
Yes.
He's a Dr. Bradbury posts and has been prolific on LinkedIn forever.
Okay.
This man created his own companies. He knows everything there is to know about recruiting. Not as much as Kenneth L. Johnson, but he's trying. He's not on the Forbes Council, so let's put it that way.
He's working hard. I'm sure he's sure he's great at what he does.
That's right. So look for him, Dr. Travis Bradbury on LinkedIn. So why are you leaving your current job?
Yes.
That is a great question. I ask that every single time.
What is an unacceptable answer?
People will think they're being transparent and tell me about an issue they might be having with their current manager. Yeah. Or they might say, well, I actually am not there any longer. I'm not really sure why.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I've gotten that too. There's people that think they're being really helpful, but no. So another unacceptable or a red flag would be that they're leaving for more money. Okay. Because that just...
You don't have a job yet.
Or... Yeah, don't you want more than to do more? And I want somebody to come work for me that wants to do more.
That would be the catch on the back end, right?
Yeah. But we all want to make more money,
that's a
right?
poor reason. Yeah, I don't expect you to change jobs for less money, but so
Yeah.
I kind of get it, but I don't want you to be the main reason.
Right. So the next one is tell me about yourself. Have an answer ready because not every company is using the STAR technique or the SMART questions.
And when people ask you that, they don't mean that you're from South Philly,
right?
And you have 3 children.
I like to roller skate.
Yeah. That's not what they're looking for. What are they looking for, AB? What are you looking for?
You just want to give the important points of your resume, which I don't roller skate, by the way. I don't know why you even thought of that. And so the points on your resume, how your skill set's there. And then what experiences that you've had that make you a good fit for the job and that company or maybe that industry. And
they've made it easier now. I know a lot of people are used to this elevator pitch concept, but now they've kind of shortened things down to a micro pitch. Shout out to all the millennials out here that kind of made this movement happen. But you can just design a micro pitch. It's a really quick pitch that basically says your name, what it is that you do, and how you align with that particular organization. And just knock it out. And then start the conversation rolling, all right? AB, where we headed?
What are your weaknesses?
Whoa.
That's the toughest question.
Yeah, because they want you to flip it, typically.
Right. And you don't want to, I'm lazy or, you know.
Do you have something that you
I
fall
suggest over
people
when
say?
I roller skate. No. I usually...
I don't like roller skating.
I typically try to, I like when people tell me about, they'll give me an example of when they had an issue and how they solved it, or maybe they're, so with me, I know I remember a lot of details, so I'm too hard on other people that might not. So, but I'm trying to improve that. I'm working on it. I'm always a work in progress. That's kind of something, yeah.
That's exceptional. I like that.
Yeah. Do you have, what would you?
You know, I don't, so I have a few that I suggest that people use in my coaching process. I don't know if we're going to have the time to get into it right now, but we can talk about it at a later point.
I didn't realize how late it was. I'm sorry.
No, not a problem
you
at all.
You just don't want to answer the question.
Well, no, I want to actually. I think it's a good. I have a great answer. I have a great response, but we'll get to it.
Well, because we could skip over the next one, which is what is your desired salary?
See, I wanted to speak about that because I think a lot of people get caught with this salary question. That's a big thing for people. And I always tell people, do your research, whether it's salary.com or just one of the Glassdoor, one of the portals that actually gives you detailed information about a salary histories at an organization. Take that information into play. Take what your actual real minimum is, and then take a number that's a little over that, like your desired number, and give a range. I don't know if you need to actually give an exact salary point, but basically just let the recruiter, hiring influencer know that you're giving a range because your career decision isn't necessarily based solely on salary. So, based on a lot of other factors, you would make a decision that falls within that range, preferably. And I have a better way to state that, but that's kind of the gist of that conversation when people ask you about your salary.
So that perfect points, and what I was saying to skip over it is because of all the laws that are coming up.
Yeah.
California right now, a recruiter is not legally able to ask you that question. So keep it in the salary range. Right. If they have
exactly.
They're supposed to ask you, what's your salary range? And then you can come back at them and says, well, what's your salary range? That is permissible. Definitely you can ask that.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it is. But just be careful. Again, do your research on what laws are out there, what can and can't be asked. But then here's tell me about a time when you did something.
And typically that's kind of a behavioral-based model.
Exactly.
The last one, tell me about a time when you, and typically when people ask you that question, they're looking for you to basically provide a story. And the thought is that past performance is a really good indicator of future performance.
Right.
So once you share that story, and hopefully it's a positive story about how you've had positive impact, typically it'll lead you into a conversation about what the roles and responsibilities are at that particular organizational role.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So,
Man.
That was a lot in a little bit of time.
A little bit of time, baby. We did it again. It's the Career Seekers Show. Woo! Live on WPPM LP Philadelphia. We are locked in every Wednesday from 4 to 5 at the only station out here. I love what we do. Happy New Year to all of you guys. I want to thank you for checking in 2018 with us. Really appreciate having Alberta Bertolino in the building, Will Martin in the building. Next week, Tiff South will be back and refreshed and back at us, I'm sure. We'd like to thank you, all the listeners at 106.5 in Philadelphia. On your way home, drive safe and be very, very cautious of the cold tomorrow. Also, we'd like to thank everybody that's on the live stream at phillycam.org. We really appreciate you for checking in every week as well. And all my people on the East Coast Executive Facebook fan page, we really appreciate it. All right? AB, we did it again?
We did. We did it well.
Yes, Yo G, is it a wrap?
It's a wrap, go.
Man, let's go. Next week, Javon Hill from Career Link, Deborah Abrams representing the MLK Career Fair. This is what we do. It's the Career Seekers Show. We bring you, we're your only source for job and career search information. With a focus on diversity. Let's get it done. We out of here, y'all.
Have a great week.
Man, hey, Gig. So.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I was taking way too long.
No, we're good.
I didn't realize.
Keep it running. So, tomorrow, live on the East Coast Executive Facebook fan page, we will have Ask the Recruiter from 8 to 8:30. What I'd like you to do is.
Is that AM or PM?
That's PM, 8 to 8:30 PM. Thank you so very much. I'd like for you to call your questions in. All right, hold on. I'd like for you to call your questions in. And let me get that number for him real quick, G. Hold on, let me see here. Call your questions in for the event tomorrow. Ask the career coach. I cannot find the number. That's pretty bad. But I will find it. It's on the East Coast Executives Facebook fan page. 347, I want to say 359. Hold on, I got you right here. 347-549-9739. Once again, 347-549-9739. You can call those questions in starting now. I will answer them for you tomorrow in between 8 and 8:30 p.m. live on the East Coast Executive Facebook fan page, Ask the Recruiter, with your man, Forbes career coach, Kenneth L. Johnson. Looking forward to it. I need questions. Come on, don't y'all have me out here by myself without any questions. All right? It's the East Coast Executive Team. Will Martin, Alberta, Bertolino, Career Seekers. This is what we do. We out. I'm not going to have anybody